Hello YouTube, it's been a long time since I made a video, and today I wanted to bring attention to some new stuff going on in the parks and stuff. I'm going to give credit here to Amusement Insiders. I'm not going to steal his video from here, but I'm going to show you something here. He's brought up some points, and please, if you can, subscribe to his channel and follow him because he's got a lot of good knowledge. Okay, he's got a lot of great points in this video. Like I said, I'm not going to play his video, except for one little part right here in the front, which is this.
The express will soon be boarding for the Trans-Mountain Run to Outpost 5. All digging equipment, explosives, and firearms are to be checked as luggage. Track 2 is no longer in use and has been permanently abandoned. Alrighty.
Okay, so they're putting out these posters up at Cedar Point and also up in Canada's Wonderland, and also I believe Kings Island is now starting to get in on it as well. And for new roller coasters that's up and coming. Okay, several things. I will tell you this. I know quite a bit of history with Cedar Point in the past, as well as Kings Island, as Kings Island is my home park. And having worked at Kings Island back in my days and as a teenager, did a lot of work during Winterfest, back in the original Winterfest, and so on. So anyway, this video, he's talking about Kings Island, maybe a Son of Beast remake, Venture Express. He brought up some different things about the racers. Let me make that larger. Or not the racers. He hasn't want to talk about the racers. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. And then also talked about different things about Cedar Point and everything else. Now, like I said, I'm not going to play his video. I want you to go and play it yourself and watch it. But I'm going to give you some hints, okay? Now, I'm not 100% positive, but I will tell you this. I guessed dead on with the GCI Mystic Timbers at Kings Island. I made a video about 8 months in advance and told everybody it will be a GCI, and that it was going to go right there by the train station, and it was going to go back over the Whitewater Canyon course, and it was going to come back and so forth. Now, I did say in the original that the log ride was probably going to go bye-bye. Of course it didn't, which I'm glad, because I really like the small log ride at Kings Island, and I'm glad they did not take it out. So that was one thing I was wrong on. I've kind of figured they would have took it out, but they made the room for this coaster, and Mystic Timbers is a pretty good coaster. Although it's not a huge coaster, but it's a pretty exciting, fast-paced roller coaster. Okay, now getting into future attractions. Okay, Canada's Wonderland, we do know that they're getting a dive coaster next year. A B&M dive, we know that for sure, for a fact. Okay, so we know that they're getting that new for 2019. Now, another thing for 2019, we know that Carowinds is going to be getting a Mack roller coaster of some sort, but it will be made by Mack. And like I said, I don't follow Carowinds very much, but I do know from listening to other people and so forth. Okay, let's go and start with Kings Island first, okay? Since it is my home park, yes, they mentioned Adventure Express, and they also mentioned like Track 2. They talk about they're going to shut down the track number 2 and yada yada yada. Well, a little over a couple months ago, there was RMC guy that was spotted. Okay, now this is what they think. They actually seen the RMC guy there at Kings Island looking around the racers. Okay, now here's my thought about Kings Island. Okay, yes, we want a Giga coaster, but you know what, folks, it's not going to happen, not yet. Okay, Kings Island will be getting a new coaster for 2020, but it's not going to be. It's going to be the existing coaster. I'm telling you, and mark my words, it's going to be racers. Okay, the racer is going to be redone RMC style, and it's going to be made as in a one coaster. Okay, they mentioned track 2 is going to be closed permanently. Okay, the racer is a twin track racing coaster. Track 2, I would say, is talking about the racer, and the racer is going to go bye bye. Okay, they're going to make it into an RMC recreation and make it into one big coaster. And I do believe that that's what's going to happen with Kings Island. Okay, and that will come in the year 2020. Okay. Now, another reason why that I say this, okay, is because about a week and a half ago, Don Helbig, he is a PR man for Kings Island, and most of you probably know Don. And he, back in the 80s, he was a roller coaster champ of the racer. He rode the racer thousands of times, okay? And about a week and a half ago, he tweeted on Twitter that he was paying his respects to an old friend. And he kind of made it seem like that something's going to happen to his racer, okay? Go back in his Twitter and read it, okay? I do believe that the racer is going to go bye-bye. I know everybody wants to keep the racer as is, but it's just not going to happen, okay? Magic Mountain, Six Flags Magic Mountain in California, they RMC'd their Colossus and turned it into Twisted Colossus. So maybe this might be a Twisted Racer. Who knows? It probably have a totally different name or whatever. But I do find that with given the spotting of RMC at Kings Island, and people has been over around Kings Island, around the racers a few times looking around, and there's been people saying that they've seen people taking pictures of some of the area back by Firehawk and the maintenance shed that's back in there. So, it's a very good possibility that the racers are going to be converted into an RMC8 special type coaster. So I do find that to be very true. It may be a big one, They may, they made Steel Vengeance. Look how much taller they made Steel Vengeance. They can do the same thing with the racer. They can make it a hell of a lot taller and steeper. They could make it into a record-breaking type RMC. They could do topper track. They can do a lot of things. But with them saying that Track 2 is going to be permanently closed, I am taking the fact that that's going to be the racers at Kings Island. Okay, that's my take, and I'm willing to bet money on that that's what's going to happen. The racers are going to go bye-bye. And I think this may be the last season for the racer, as it will take them a couple years to do so, just like they did with Steel Vengeance and Mean Streak. Okay, now, another thing, too, if they're talking about Track 2 being closed, could it mean maybe the Gemini up at Cedar Point? Now, that's another thought about Gemini. But I don't think they're going to mess with Gemini. I think Gemini is going to stay there. And of course, they're taking Witch's Wheel out, and that's right there close to the Gemini, right next to it. So could they be doing something with Gemini and taking the Witch's Wheel out? Could be. But I still don't think that's what's going to happen with Cedar Point. And I'll tell you what I think is going to happen with Cedar Point here in a little bit. Okay, so Kings Island, Giga Coaster, maybe 2022, maybe 2023. It's going to be a while. I think we're going to get our Giga later on down the road. It's not going to happen just yet. Okay, sorry about the bad news, but that's what I think is going to happen. And I told you I nailed it on the GCI. I told you that was what was going to come, and that's exactly what happened. So take it with a grain of salt. Son of Beast is not coming back. Now, would they make the racer into a Son of a Beast? Maybe so. Who knows? We don't know what the name will be. Now, Cedar Point. Now, Cedar Point is not going to get a new roller coaster yet. Now, they're going to redo their one of their roller coasters, and this is what I'm willing to lay a bet on, just from listening to conversations with Twitter, with different spokespeople talking on Twitter and different things that's been happening in the past, watching and seeing what's been going on, and just basically listen. If you listen and watch their blog all the time and just keep up with Screamscape, also keep up with Screamscape. He's good. Okay, keep up with him. I know it's rumors. A lot of times it's rumors, but I'm telling you, if you just listen and keep your ears open, you're going to learn a lot. Okay. Now, with Cedar Point, what I think is going to happen with Cedar Point. All right. Here's what I'm willing to bet. They mention their Cedar Creek Mine Ride. I think Cedar Creek Mine Ride is going to go away and it's going to be redone. Okay? How they're going to redo it, I don't know yet. I've got good thinking that they're going to make it larger and cover more territory, and I think they're going to use some of the island left over from Dinosaurs Alive, which is going to go bye-bye after this summer, and I think that they may use the old Q station that was for the Shoot the Chutes ride that they had, Shoot the Rapids, that didn't pan out very well. I think that they may use that as a new station for the mine ride. So they may just go ahead and do away with the old mine ride and maybe redo it. Maybe might just go ahead and put a new coaster up. Maybe they might just go ahead and build a brand new Cedar Creek mine ride. Who knows? But they talk about number 5. Okay, I know they talk about outpost number 5 and blah blah blah. If you look at the posters, now let me see if I can turn this volume down because I don't want to sit there and have
an interesting theory coming out of Kings Island with the...
Okay, let me turn that down for a minute. I just want to, we'll just sit there and watch a little bit of this. But now, they're talking about different things on the different things here. Okay, here we go. Number 5, let's pause that. Number 5 is alive. Okay, do you see that? Now also, let's look up here. Cedar Creek Company, okay. Mining Company, okay. Do you see that? Crystal Brewing Company. Remember? That was for Shoot the Rapids ride, okay. I'll come back to number 5 in a second. All right, so they're sitting there, they're talking about minerals, mining, minerals company and everything. Well, obviously they're talking about mining, okay? Now, they are talking here about, let's see if it's on this one here. Okay, down there at the bottom it says track, I know it's hard to see. Track 2 is no longer in use and has been permanently abandoned. Please use the outpost and shipping and cargo transformation or route. Okay, transportation route. Okay, well, you know, do you see that picture? That is an upside down picture of one of the trains from the mine ride. Okay, number 5 has not been on the rails on Cedar Creek Mine Ride for quite some time. That, I'm telling you, that is one of the cars of the mine train, number 5. If you remember, Cedar Creek Mine Ride had 5 trains. When it originally opened years and years ago, they had 5 trains. Yes, they had 5 trains. And over the years, they've axed it down to where they was only running 2 trains. But years ago, when I went to Cedar Point, they used to have, you know, you see how big their storage area is when you go through that little shed. They've got lots and lots of room in there, and that's where they kept all their mine trains. And they had train number 5, train number 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, they had all of them. I've seen them. Years ago, I've seen all 5 trains. So number 5 has not been used in forever, and now it's saying number 5 is alive. So, are they going to make a bigger mine ride and use 5 trains? I bet so. So that's what I think is going to happen. Cedar Creek Mine Ride is going to get expansion, okay, and it's going to be redone. And if you notice that it also talks in here, it talks about um, let's see, about the steel or the iron, about the iron tracks and stuff like that, and oak wood. Well, if you notice, oak wood is used on Cedar Creek Mine Ride. Okay, the supports for the track is oak. Go check it out. All right, so there is where they're talking about the mine ride with the oak and the iron. So it's talking about the oak and iron because yellow pine is not available because there's been too much use for mystic timbers and so forth. Okay, so that's my take on Cedar Point. I'm telling you, they're going to get a new. Um, I'm positive on this, guys. I'm telling you, I really believe that they're going to get a new mine train coaster, and it's going to be like this number 5 is alive. But like I said, you see that where it says Crystal Brewing? See, you can barely see it. It's kind of cut off right there. But remember, Crystal Brewing is right on the side of Shoot the Rapids building. That was part of the Shoot the Rapids thing. And that area is not only being used, but by that Professor Flings, whatever that thing is, where you that paid traction, where you sit there and do the big giant swing. So I'm telling you that that is what's going to happen, and that's what's happening with um, Cedar Point. I do believe that they're going to redo the mine ride, and that's going to be the next new coaster for Cedar Point in 2020. Okay, so that's what I believe is going to happen with Cedar Point. Now, next year, we know that the roller coasters are going to be for 2019. Okay, we know, well, we know Knott's already had one this year. Okay, they already had a new coaster, so Knott's ain't going to get anything for a while. So that's going to leave Dorney Park. They're due for a coaster, and I do believe they're going to get a GCI coaster, probably something like Mystic Timbers, something similar of that nature. Or like the one that they put in 2013 out there in Santa Clara, California at California Adventure or whatever that park's called. Sorry, I can't think off the top of my head right now. But I do believe Dorney Park is going to get a um, coaster, and also say Worlds of Fun will get another coaster as well. I think they might also get a GCI Woody as well. Because GCI is building some reputable coasters right now, and I do think that they're going to go with GCI on some of the smaller Woody coasters. Um, so next year, I would say that, well, we know Carowinds is getting their MAC coaster. We know Canada's Wonderland is getting the dive coaster, which should probably be a massive coaster. And also next year in 2019, I think that it's a safe bet to say that Dorney is going to get theirs possibly next year as well as Worlds of Fun, possibly. And I'd say they're going to start construction on that here very soon. There has been some clearing of land, somebody said there in Pennsylvania, so I'm sure it's going to happen. Yes, a lot of people says, well, Cedar Point and Kings Island is not going to get a coaster the same year. Well, they will. I'm telling you. They're going to do it same year. 2020, Cedar Point and Kings Island is going to be the two parks that's going to get a new coaster or remakes. Now, since those are going to just be remakes, I think that they may put another coaster in possibly at King's Dominion. Dominion's way overdue. Okay, King's Dominion's way overdue. So I would say that King's Dominion should get a coaster in 2020, if not 2021. So, let's see right here, it says, after numerous years of searching, we have finally located the lost remnants of number 5. See, I'm telling you, that's number 5 train of Cedar Creek Mine Ride. And are formulating a plan to bring it back into service once again. See, service once again, because it used to be in service. This will increase the capacity and yield from the mines. That means less work for you. So I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. They're going to redo Cedar Creek Mine Ride. Guarantee it. I guarantee it. If I'm wrong, I don't know. I just don't think I'm wrong. I really honestly believe this is what's going to happen. Okay? Give me your thoughts down below. Let me know. Let me know what you've heard and what you think. But don't you think that possibly that could be what's going to happen? Just think about it. So, anyway, that's my thoughts. And me being around long enough to listen to Don Helbig, I know him very well. And, of course, he ain't going to tell me anything, but even though I know him, I've known what he's done, what his past accomplishments were with racers. And here lately, he's sitting there being kind of acting all sad about being an old friend, visiting an old friend. And they're starting to talk about the racer. And RMC supposedly looking there around the racer and people taking pictures. I'm talking about there's been some photographers around there taking photos, which I'm sure are engineers. So, you know what? I'm just telling you, I really think that that's what we're going to see, okay? Cedar Point, redoing that Cedar Creek Mine Coaster. I think that's going to be one of the big dudes there, and it's going to be a good one. It's not going to be a little, chintzy coaster, but I think it's going to be a nice-sized mine coaster. And they're going to bring it back to life, so what does that tell you? They're going to expand. And I just honestly believe that. And I'm telling you, that picture that was upside down at number 5, I'm telling you, that is the picture of one of the trains, train number 5. Trust me on that. All right. Some of the older guys, they might remember it, I'm sure they'll remember number 5. Okay. That's my intake on that. King's On, Son of Beast, nah, it's not going to happen, okay? Track 2, the racers, a lot of times they don't use that other side, okay? There's a lot of times they don't use track 2. So it's very, very possible on that, and I really think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be a racer RMC, and it's going to be redone, and it's going to open in the year 2020, and I would say that they're going to probably close the racers probably by Labor Day of this year. We're going to hear an announcement here real soon. It's coming. I think we will have an announcement that the racers are going to be closing early, or maybe they might wait until after the end of the season. But this is going to be the last year for the racer. I just know it. Okay, it's so damn rough right now. A lot of people's complaining about it. They're talking about beating in the head and everything else, and it's a headbanger, and they say it's worse than what they've ever thought. And they also complain about it because it's so bad and blah, blah, blah. Well, they've tried to smooth it out, and they have worked on it in the past. They've tried to smooth it out as much as they could. So I do believe that that's what's going to happen. Okay? RMC is going to be a nice, smooth ride. Everybody loves Steel Vengeance up here at Cedar Point. They're bragging on that, saying that's the best damn coaster that's in the park. They're saying it's better than Millennium Force. Now, I haven't been up there, so I don't know. Millennium Force is my coaster, okay? Millennium Force is number 1 in my book. That's my number 1 favorite coaster in the entire world. And even Raptor, I think, is better than Banshee. I'm glad King's On got Banshee, but it's just not. I don't think Banshee is as good as Raptor. Raptor is a little bit better. I just like Raptor. But that's my opinion on that. All right? Tell me what you guys think down below, if you would. Please comment, share my video, and let me know what everybody thinks. We got plenty of time to talk about it, so let's have fun and let's let the games begin. But like I said, this is my opinion, and I was right with Mystic Timbers, and I believe I'm right this time. Not only with King's Island, but I'm also fairly sure I'm right with Cedar Point as well. Okay? All right. Appreciate it, guys. Take care. Have a great weekend, and talk to you later. See ya.